Warning. The following poocast features two comedians with ulcerative colitis talking number two's post-J-pouch surgery. They are expert craftsmen working to bring laughter and end the shit stigma stinking up our world. These are not medical professionals. For real medical advice, please consult your local physician.
Howdy, folks. Welcome to Turdsville with your hosts, David P. and Kiwi. Pouches for them boys in the bathroom making noise in their town. It's always brown.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome
to Turdsville.
Sorry,
I took the words right out of your mouth.
I'm just in like full announcer mode since we got rid of the stands. And
I didn't know we could do this.
Yeah, we're gonna.
I have a love-hate relationship with my microphone now. You bitch. Just kidding.
Slap that mic, man. Let your aggression out. I gotta tell you, when you're angry, slap the mic.
Slap the mic.
Yeah.
Do you imagine if a comic did that on stage? Thank you guys so much.
Just slap the mic. Yeah. I spank the mic. I like to just reenact when I'm spanking a girl. I like to do it, but just with the mic and just like boom, just smacking the mic. I do 5 minutes of mic smacks. Yeah. It's been a minute. It's been a minute, man. So how's your shitting been?
I work now.
Oh.
Yeah. So I have to I have a little more fear surrounding my shits because I don't want to poop my pants at work. I don't want to have to always be the guy pooping. Always have to ask my boss to go poop. Always be like, hey boss, let me go take a poop. I don't want to be that. Who wants to be that guy who's like, hey, I have to go. Hey boss.
This is a legit concern. Yeah. I've always been self-employed, so I've never had to deal with this. Yeah. But I've talked to other people with colitis and Crohn's who've told me the most difficult part is when you have a regular 9-to-5 job and you have to shit and you're shitting so much that the boss starts to get suspicious.
Oh yeah, I showed him my card, my Crohn's colitis card.
You have a card?
I can't wait. Oh, have you never seen my card?
No, I didn't know you have identification.
I actually had two. I gave one to another comic. Shout out Max Gross. It's their real last name.
Yeah, Gross. I don't know why he hasn't been on.
Look, they part of it is broken. I don't know if you could do a little.
That's a CCFA.
Everybody, yeah, Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America, 2018 member. You see, it says on the back, "I can't wait."
I gotta get one of those.
Yeah, you should get one of these.
That's awesome.
I showed this down the first day where I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, I can't wait.
For the people that don't know, and I don't know, how do you obtain a Crohn's or Colitis Foundation?
So they gave it to me after my first surgery when they took the goddamn whole colon out. And I was like, I needed this before when I was taking 35 shits a day. Now I'm just in the hospital and I got a bathroom here. Well, I mean, it was still nice to have because I can show it at times like this, but what I wouldn't have done to have it on a plane or something, when I was having colitis those first couple of years. But I don't know, man. Knowing myself too, I probably would have been too much of a little pussy to not be like, hey, I don't know. It's good to have for times like this,
I usually morph into a vagina every time I'm on a plane. I just I don't know what it is.
You don't want to be that guy.
But you got to be assertive in those situations, and it's always difficult, especially air travel.
It's very difficult.
When you have to go, and they're like, well, it's turbulent, and you're like, yo.
You're like, my diarrhea is turbulent, bitch. So you show them that I can't wait thing. It's not... There's a Key and Peele skit that he's like, I have to piss and I have to shit. He's like
I mean, that's every day for me because now post kidney transplant, I have to piss a lot. Yeah. So it's constantly I either have to piss or I have to shit. And then sometimes I don't know what's coming out. I just go into the bathroom let's see what happens.
Every time, dude.
Let's giddy up.
Dude, and I'm going to talk to the nutritionist on the 26th of October because I saw my GI for the first time in however so many years because I've been seeing the surgery team because of surgery. And he was like, yeah, we can't really proceed till we work on what you're putting in your body so we can take care of what's coming out of your body.
I think diet is so important, and I'm surprised have you seen a nutritionist before?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But a big part of it, dude, is also drinking. I want to know what to drink, when to drink. Should it be water? Should it be tea? Because they say water doesn't hydrate you that well. All right, so I'll make my You ever drink ORS, like diluted salty Gatorade?
No, I haven't drank ORS, but what I was doing with my water, because with the surgery that you and I have, we have no colon, so you get dehydrated more easily. So I get these little hydration packets, and I put them in my water.
What is the name of them?
Hydroxy or damn, I'm slipping on the name. It's Hydro something. I mean, there's like 6 companies that do it.
Yeah.
And if you just go on Amazon, they have all different flavors. And go on Amazon so you give the money to Jeff Bezos, because I want to make sure he seems like he's struggling.
Seems like a nice guy.
Yeah. And let's get him into outer space.
Yeah. Let's get that guy the support he deserves. Yeah.
We're going to start a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
But I like those because I'll throw those in my water, and then I get like a lemon flavor one, so it kind of makes the water a little bit of a different flavor. Yeah. And I don't like the ones that overpower the water, just as subtle. But that way, I find I have less muscle cramps and spasms.
Yeah, totally.
Which you definitely get when you get too dehydrated. And now I'm encouraged to drink a lot of water post-transplant, because they want me to drink like 2-3 liters of water a day if I can.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
minimum one.
My mom, it goes to like a support group for caretakers of people who have what we have, and they said they were like the drink that I drink, the ORS, the Gatorade is really bad for people with pouches. And I was like, oh shit. And I do get like big diarrhea after I drink it. Like I get hydrated, but I get like diarrhea. Like, dude, it comes out the ass.
I used to fuck with Gatorade, and I noticed like it didn't sync well with my stomach. The zero sugar's like okay, in moderation.
When I had the bag, it was okay, but they said the pouch, like when you're using the pouch, it's no good for the pouch. So maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, there's something about it, and then the potassium's really high, which was fucking with my kidneys. So I had multiple reasons to kind of cut back on it. Yeah. And there's a million drinks you could have. So I guess you're just figuring out like what works for you.
I need the official recommendation,
No, but this is good that you're seeing a nutritionist and you're getting help with this stuff. I think that's so important. I still have been slacking. I'm supposed to get like the pouch oscopy, but I haven't had anyone look inside my butthole. They were supposed to do it a few months ago, but I was having the kidney stuff, so I kind of postponed it. But I have to rebook that. If nothing else, for the podcast, I got to rebook it.
Yeah,
just to have
let us know. Yeah, dude, I had one a couple episodes ago. Well, I mean, you're feeling okay stomach wise, right?
Yeah, it's the craziest thing. Prior to the transplant, as I told you on an earlier episode, I was taking Imodium. I've cut Imodium out. Like I haven't.
Really?
I took it maybe like a number of weeks ago, but I've pretty much just cut it out, and now I'll take like a Gas X every now and then. My stomach's kind of acting up, but I find like I have an ability to hold. That's great. I think there's something that happens where the pouch matures.
Yeah.
My pouch was kind of immature before.
Your pouch would be having its bar mitzvah if it were a human boy.
It's
13 years old.
I don't know. Is it 13?
10, 11 years old.
Yeah, well, we should have a pouch bar mitzvah maybe in the future.
If it were a girl, it could be getting its period. Well, God willing, it wouldn't be bleeding, but it could be 12. Ladies can get their bar mitzvahs at 12. We should have a little adult bar mitzvah.
Adult bar mitzvah pouch. I would like that. I think my pouch would like that. I get like what do they do? They lift you up on the chair, but they do it.
You're like, ah!
They lift me up like by my ass. Something.
We'll put you under first. Don't worry.
Oh, of course. Yeah, and then it's. I will say, I have noticed lately, I don't know if it's my diet, but the shits are starting to get more explosive. So I don't know what that's about. I have to figure out what's going on there. Maybe it's, I actually am able to like drink coffee a little bit, which I wasn't able to do prior. And I was so nervous about ever doing it, but I find I drink it in the morning and I clear out now.
Yeah.
And I'm like good. Like I have a lot less urgency to shit.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's going to happen with you at some point, just over the years, because
maybe over the years
you got a younger pouch than me.
Yeah,
but
definitely
this might be like where things go.
Decaf I can handle.
Yeah, decaf. Oh, so you've drank coffee and you could, but
decaf,
but caffeinated, it's like fuck. Yeah,
I wouldn't risk it.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm at home and it's just breakfast and I'm like, I know I'm gonna be able to take a dump right after, I'm like, okay, so I can clear out, and I find like I go so much that it's like such a heavy D.
Yeah, it's a heavy D. Well, I'm already a nervous Naveen, you know. I'm like Woody Allen before he fucked his stepdaughter. Like, I'm already like all over the place. Like, I don't need more also like, to make me go, like, you know, I don't. So the decaf I like too, because I also like coffee just because I think it tastes kind of nice, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean, I like the taste of it, and now I got the Keurig from my brother. He got me a Keurig. Shout out to John.
Oh, Keurig.
Yeah,
Nice, yeah.
and I've been messing with the K cups, and it's like
This
great.
Jew got the Keurig.
I know, yeah. Actually, because I'm a
You
Jew, I
got
put a
a
yarmulke
fucking
on it.
Keurig. Damn.
And I put like little peyote on the side just to kind
Motherfucker
of.
got a Keurig.
Yo, I don't mean to brag.
That
but
is
I
like
got
a symbol of wealth, dude.
It's like a mini
have a
Keurig.
Keurig
It's a
still?
mini Keurig. It's not the official.
Well, I wish you
big
many
boy.
years of happiness and health. And
Yeah, it is. It is really nice in the morning, and I find like I like it. But yo, I'm telling you, the clear out. People have been telling me that for years. I had a friend who had an ostomy, and what he would do, he'd have like a huge meal in the morning, and he'd clear out the ostomy with coffee, and then he wouldn't eat till like late at night.
I would just be nervous about the dehydration. Is the thing. That was what would stop it for me, you know.
As soon as I after breakfast, I always work out, and I have even if I don't work out, I do grab like a liter of water,
Yeah,
and I make sure
that's
to
OD.
just pound that. And I'm getting really good about it, so I'm getting really disciplined with it and getting the shit flowing.
Yeah, dude. No, the thing about the pouch maturing is really real too. You know, like the stuff you're able to handle, and you just gotta know it. You just gotta know your pouch and yourself. And
Yeah, like right now, my pouch is still fuckable by Woody Allen standards, but it's gonna age out in a few years.
unfortunately,
Let's
not like a fine wine. Yeah, that'll. I don't know. It's still yeah. Well, people will have a long and successful, you know, lives with the pouch. That's what they told me to convince me to get the surgery. So
Yeah, and I mean, I think I'm living proof if I'm the ghost of the future.
Yeah.
Hopefully you don't have the kidney issues I have.
yeah.
So let's go ahead and introduce our guest for today. Very funny comedian who I met at a show. It was a pro wrestling themed comedy show, and our mutual love of professional wrestling. Comedian Michael Clayton.
Nice to meet you guys. Well, I know you.
You know me.
Nice to meet you, Kiwi.
Hey, Mike.
Great to have you on, Michael.
Thank you very
thanks for
much, man.
coming.
And Kiwi, do you want to do the honors?
Oh yeah. So one question we like to ask all the comics is, Michael, what makes you a resident of Turdsville?
So it's funny when I told my girlfriend on the phone like I was coming to the show, and she's like, "Oh, well, you're doing a podcast?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "What's the topic?" And she's like, "I'm like, it's about shitting your pants." And she's like, "Oh, like it's so great you'll be able to speak on something you're knowledgeable about." And I'm like, "Fuck you."
great.
And to give you like a little bit of background, my best friend in the world, he lives in Orlando. We've only had one fight our entire friendship. The fight we had at 2 a.m. in a Waffle House was whether I had shit my pants 2.5 times as an adult or 3 times as an adult.
I'm gonna need an.
Yeah, because I maintain it was 2.5.
I've never heard of a half. Is it like, yeah.
So if you shit, it comes all the way out, but then it goes back in, and there's no kind of remnants, like in the underwear at all. I think that you can't say that didn't happen, but I don't think it's a full shit.
What qualifies a remnant?
Any kind of stain, any kind of like...
There's nothing?
Yeah,
Did you do like
nothing.
a full inspection, like put it to your face?
I did a full inspection. This was for clinical reasons. I had to make sure.
It sounds like a half. Sounds like
Sniff test?
Did a sniff test too. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And it passed the sniff test.
It passed the sniff test. So I feel now there have been more incidents since that time. So it's obsolete now, but there's still a half in there.
I like this half rating. I've never heard of this. I mean, at this point, if someone asked me how many times I've shit my pants, I'd probably put the infinity symbol. I don't know how, I've lost count. Yeah. But wait, so 2.5. Do you want to recap the times? I'm kind of curious.
So
like what?
I'm trying to remember. One of them I think was kind of an inconsequential one. Like it wasn't even worth remembering, but I just remembered I shit my pants. But the second time I did, I had a friend of mine who was very, very depressed at the time.
Oh, God.
And I go over to his house and I'm like, "Hey, what do you want to do?" And he's like, I'm like, "I'll take you to eat anywhere. Just like, let's fucking go somewhere." Because he just wanted to get out of the house. And he's like, "Let's go to Hooters."
Nice.
And I'm like, all right, cool. And I'm like, I like the wings. We'll go there. So we go to Hooters.
I like the wings.
I eat a fuck ton of those wings.
Oh, yeah.
And they're delicious. And I'm like dipping them in ranch. And like, this is also when I was like, I'm a chubby guy, ladies and gentlemen. I was chubbier then. And so I was just going to town. So I drive him to like his apartment. And I lived in the next apartment complex over. And as I'm driving to my apartment complex, my stomach's literally going like, you need to shit like 5 minutes ago. And I'm like literally sweating. I'm panicking. I know it. Like I'm going to be fucked if I don't get to a bathroom. So the visitor center of my apartment, I like park the car. I run into the bathroom. I don't even get to the toilet before I start shitting in my pants. And it's like these athletic pants because I was like starting to exercise then. So it's just all over my legs and all that. And then I pull down. And as soon as I pull down, it literally looked like, have you seen the movie Full Metal Jacket?
Yeah.
Remember when Private Pyle shoots himself in the face and you see the blood stain on the back of the wall? Same thing, but shit. I'm like, instead of a blood stain. And so it's everywhere. And I'm like, I took like a hoodie off and I'm trying to like clean the walls because the paper towels are out too. The toilet paper's out.
Clean
so I'm like,
the
fuck.
Walls?
Yeah. So I'm like trying to get it as clean as I can.
artist.
And then I hear somebody coming and I'm like, fuck, I got to leave. And as I leave, I look behind me and I realized it was the women's restroom. Like I just ran to the first bathroom I could.
That qualifies as a hate crime.
Yeah. And the best thing was I go home. I was supposed to be home like 4 hours before, and I like kind of panicked and things like that. And I finally went in that house. And my girlfriend at the time goes, "Hey, where are you? What's that smell?" And I'm like, I just need to go. I just need to go to the shower. I just need to go to the shower. Leave me alone. And she's like, "Did you shit yourself?" And I'm like, "Don't fucking ask me that right now. I just got to shower." So I showered, of course. Then she had a huge laugh. And the best part was my best friend was roommates with me at the time. That's actually how the whole 2.5 conversation originally came up. But he then asked me so what happened? I'm like, I shit at the visitor center. I was everywhere. And he told me the next morning he was driving to leave for work. And you just saw this dude exiting the women's restroom with like a mop and shit. And he looked fucking furious.
Oh, yeah. Because somebody's got to clean that up.
Yeah. And I felt bad because I did leave the scene of the crime. But I also was like, nervous and I was panicking.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah, I don't know what you're supposed to do there because it's not like a car accident. It's an accident of shitting your pants.
Yeah, and at a certain point, like there was no like paper towel. There wasn't enough paper towels in there or anything, or enough, toilet paper. So at a certain point, it's like I did my best with the resources I had. You're rocking the mop, man.
Hooters is a really kind of a. It's. I once actually had a pedophile take me to Hooters when I was a kid.
Ooh, was it Woody Allen?
No, his name was John or some shit. He's probably out of jail by now. But he turned out to be like a pedo. He was like our friend. Our friend.
Do you want to change the name should we bleep the name?
Our friend Bill. Our friend Bill's mom hired this guy to like take care of all of us for like a week or two over the summer. Cause it's like, yeah, we'll hire one babysitter to take care of all the boys. And he was like a nice enough guy,
That seems like a job you can't advertise for, though, without sounding like a pedophile.
Yeah.
Like going, "Hey, are you a man who could just look after my boys?"
6 to 8 boys, yeah.
And there's some dude going, "Yes."
He's like, "I'm cool. I'll take them to fucking Hooters." So he did that, I guess, to cover his tracks. But then he took us there, and it was like, oh, there weren't a lot of dudes. Well, it was a weird Hooters. And it was also like 12 in the afternoon. We were like young. And then, but 2 months later, I had to talk to some cop ladies because he touched some kid.
Jeez. Oh. Well, and Hooters is always a weird environment anyway.
And it's Hooters in Manhattan.
Yeah, and I went to the Hooters in Manhattan once. And it was just because I need wings. And it's not like I'm not like morally opposed to Hooters or anything. No. It's just not usually the thing I typically go to. But the thing that's funny when you go to any kind of Hooters is there's always there's one dude in there that clearly thinks he has a shot. Yeah. And it's fucking amazing watching him. Because they would go "You know what, sugar? I'm going to get another drink. What do you think?" And she's like, and of course she's like, "Yeah, I think that's great."
Yeah, bigger tip.
Give me my money, you dipshit.
I mean, I like the Hooters in Manhattan because it was featured in one of my favorite movies, Big Daddy. So
that's right.
Yeah.
The great movie.
Yeah, so I mean, that's a great reason to go there.
It wasn't a bad Hooters, for what it's worth, because a lot of the people that come in there are businessmen and stuff. So it's got a very kind of Wolf of Wall Street bro-y appeal. But some of the ones I'm originally from South Carolina. Some of the ones in the South are just like sad areas.
The ladies are nice.
The women are usually always very attractive. Like Hooters figures that out. There's gorgeous women in the South. It's just the clientele. It's usually like a lot of like sad truckers.
Yeah.
And they're just like, I need something that resembles like female touch without actually being touched. Like, they just kind of oogle these girls, and you know, they're all kind of putting on a performance, but they make a killing too. I worked at a phone call center where the girl worked in the afternoons at a Hooters, and like the amount of money she made at Hooters, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing at a call center? Like,
I remember watching something about Hooters, and the girl was thinking about getting breast enhancement surgery to get bigger tips at Hooters.
yeah,
And that's investing in yourself. So I respect that. You know, that's
That makes sense.
well, and I've even heard of like different like, I want to say Botox and other things where like Hooters girls would get that as like a write-off. Would like try to write that off.
Oh, yeah.
Which, I mean,
It's a business
theoretically,
expense,
there's not a bad argument for it. Like,
No, I mean, you're selling your body in a way. It's not prostitution. It's like, I'm serving wings to drunk, horny guys, and I want a bigger tip.
Yeah. Yeah, and if part of your aesthetics is part of your job, you should be able to write it off. I mean, that is part of what's making you income. And, you know, I don't see too many empty Hooters, so it's doing something right.
No, Hooters is definitely doing something right. And I think they tend to be almost like they get the most attractive women and they'll do like photo shoots with them. I don't know if they still do this, but they have like a whole Hooters fan base.
Yeah.
And I imagine in the South, though, you say it's sad. I would figure it'd be like really some of the most like attractive women.
Well, the women are attractive. It's just like some of the clientele like just seems so run down. Now there's some like kind of like college bros, and not that I like hang out with those dudes, but I can like deal with that. Like there's a variety, but like you see a lot of kind of just guys that come in there all the time because they're just wanting some type of female interaction. And that's like the most realistic thing that they can go with. And it's usually guys where, and this is the funny thing too, in the South, there's this weird puritanical thing where it's guys that morally don't think they can go to a strip club, but Hooters is like the happy medium.
It's a restaurant, It's a restaurant.
like
so
modesty.
there's like this weird repression thing. Yeah, it's their form of modesty. It's like, I didn't go to a strip club. I just went to get some wings, and if the girls were there, that ain't my fucking fault. Like,
But you could get a full meal at a strip club. I guess they just don't feel comfortable going in. An environment
well,
like
in
that.
the strip clubs in like Charleston, for example, like they had certain rules about what kind of food they could and couldn't serve at the strip club and things like that. So that
Like what
also
kind of
is a
food
factor.
could they not serve?
Like certain foods like certain types of cooked foods.
Breast milk? Like what were they not?
I think that was acceptable depending on the girl.
Yeah, certain milks.
But yeah, it was just they're just weird environments. And those wings, I mean, like, because they're so greasy, they're delicious. You know, I got to give Hooters credit. They do make some killer wings. They're greasy as hell, so I always feel like I have to shit. I'm in my 30s now, like my late 30s, and there's certain places I can't go to if I have to do anything the next day. Like, if I want to go get that place Sonic that has hot dogs and stuff.
Yeah.
If I'm going to eat at Sonic's, I have to make sure whatever plans I have tomorrow are capable of being canceled if they need to.
Like you can't go to work?
I will have like a very spastic shitting experience.
But like multiple, it's like just one shit, or like you'll be shitting throughout the day?
I'll just throughout the day. Now, thankfully, I work from home, so that
That's
makes it a
good.
little bit easier. But I still don't want to have to reckon with that if I have anything else planned.
I have gotten to this point where restaurants that are like that, I've just cut out of my diet because it's not worth it. I don't think there's anything Sonic has or I would say for me, it's like halal guys. There's certain places where like the food is not good enough to make it worth the aftermath.
And you are correct. And here's the funny thing, because I'm a little bit of like, I don't know if foodie is the right term, but I like food. And I like trying different types of really good food. But I also have this like white trash child in me that like every once in a while it's like I gotta go to Sonic's and spend like $30.
It's sentimental. Dude. Totally.
Where I just have to binge on something that's just absolute garbage.
Dude, that's like me and a whole pizza, which I do like once a week.
Oh yeah, a whole pizza. There's times I'll get it from the most rundown. I'll get it from a fucking Domino's. I live in New York City, and I've gotten Domino's pizza just to like go, I'm gonna be a piece of shit.
Oh, you're that guy.
Yeah.
You're that guy. Man,
Domino's.
you get Domino's?
No, when I was in Ohio for a couple of years, I definitely got Domino's. Yeah, dude. I mean, I don't get it now because it's, but like
It's very
good.
rare,
It tastes
but
good.
occasionally, like, because there's a Domino's right by my house. If it's literally,
open till
I
like
want to be
3
a
or
piece
4.
of shit right now, and it's like, oh, well, why don't you go to Joe's? It's like, fuck Joe's. I'm being an awful person right now. This isn't about quality. Like,
This is about destruction,
Yeah.
self-destruction.
yeah, or like a Checkers
Domino's
is
got
another
those
one.
Deals,
Yeah.
2 for $12 deals and shit. 2 medium, 2
Yeah,
topping
anytime
pizzas
it's
for
like,
2.
anytime you can buy a fuck ton of food for like $5,
Yeah.
you probably should never eat there. Like,
No.
never. Like,
And I love that they have like salads and that sort of
Yeah.
shit. Like they have, oh yeah, really.
that was the worst thing because, like, when I'm eating healthy, there's certain places I just don't go to.
yeah.
Like, I won't go to a McDonald's if I'm eating healthy. And my mom's like, well, why don't you get a salad? I'm like, why the fuck would I get a salad? Like, I know me. Like,
Oh, and their salads have a ton of shit in it. I don't know if you've ever looked, but
Yeah.
like the nutritional, it's like still they add a ton of salt and a ton of sugar.
well, there's a ton of foods like that. I mean, Champ's Diner, which is like a vegan diner in Brooklyn. Occasionally, like, I'll go a week where I'm like, I'm going to eat vegetarian or vegan. And it's not even because of like it's not for any moral reasons. I'm just like, it'll be healthy. And just challenging myself. So I went to Champ's Diner because it's an all-vegan diner. And a lot of people assume vegan means low in calories. It does not.
Yeah, it
No.
doesn't.
Like, everything in Champ's Diner is like the same, like the pancakes there are the same calories like if you
Yeah.
got regular pancakes.
Because they put coconut oil and all that shit.
Yeah, a lot of coconut oil. They'll use soy for a lot of the meat.
Yeah,
and
vegan
stuff.
shit can be rich, yeah.
Well, that's the whole thing. Now there's a lot of vegan spots popping up that are like, it's fast food. There's, especially around, I'm forgetting the name of the spot, but there's like spots I'm seeing around like Union Square where I've gone in and I looked at the menu. It's like cheeseburgers and Philly cheesesteaks, and it's all the same shit you would get at like some fast food
and just
joint.
like either fast or fast casual place. And like, one of the things that I find very interesting, most of my friends that are vegan, I have a couple of them that kind of
How many
lean between.
vegan friends do you have?
I have probably about 3 or 4 in Charleston.
Just in
downtown-
Charleston? Damn.
Downtown Charleston had like a very rich like hipster population,
Yeah, that
so
makes
you had a
sense.
bunch of people that kind of went in and out of it. But a number of them would be like vegan and then kind of rotate between that and vegetarian. It was
Yeah.
usually because one of the foods that they would have to eliminate, they just couldn't get past. And like, I have one friend, the big thing for her, she says, I'm mainly vegan, but I gotta have fucking cheese.
Yeah.
The
So,
vegan
like-
cheese sucks.
Yeah, vegan. And there's a
cheese
couple of vegan foods that are terrible. Like, vegan cookies are fine. Vegan sausage is great. Vegan cheese is atrocious.
No, I tried to do it and I like was convincing myself like, yeah, this is fine. But then as soon as I went back and tried the regular cheese, I'm like, nah, it's not the same.
And I still have
It's
not
a-
had a vegan pancake that I've enjoyed.
Really?
I've had a vegan waffle that was pretty good, but like vegan pancakes still just taste just awful to me. And that there may be a place out there that could whip them up, but I haven't had any yet that have been pretty good.
I like Organic Grill, and they're in the West Village now.
Okay.
But they do, on the weekends, they do a breakfast menu. And that would be the only place I could vouch that I think has decent. But
I'd be
Decent
down to
vegan
try it, for sure.
pancakes.
actually, maybe it was waffles. I had the waffles there. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I've had pancakes there. They changed the menu up a lot.
Yeah,
so.
the waffles at Champs are really good. I'll stand by that. And they're like French toast is really good too.
Yeah, there's certain things that's like kind of tough to mess up, but I found when I switched to kind of like a vegetarian diet that my stomach wasn't acting up as much. Like I felt a lot lighter after I ate a meal.
Oh, you feel much, yeah.
Well, one of the most embarrassing things, especially because like I've definitely had plenty of shitting experiences. Like they're all on me because like my diet for a long time was just garbage, and it's a lot better, but it's still not great. I still eat plenty of unhealthy food. I just try to mitigate the damage by eating healthy some days too. But all the food that I was eating, like it was never a question of like I don't know why I'm shitting so badly. Like, no, that makes complete sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had situations come up
Yeah.
where
It's like, yeah, okay.
like I've been out with people and I see the foods that are available and I have to select something very specific because I don't want to shit my pants. And do you ever have that where you're out and you have to like be very careful about what you put in your body with
Just
the
checking. Yeah,
pouch?
dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the time. 24/7.
What's like the worst food you could have?
Oh, good question.
Probably another man's feces.
Just yeah, definitely. Like
Worst
if I was in
food.
a human centipede situation.
Yeah, worst food.
The hard
Everybody-
thing is they don't
That's
usually
ridiculous.
advertise that on the menu, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to ask the guys in the back.
You have to go to the guys in
Which
the
I'm
back
not
and say, I'm reviewing this restaurant for Yelp.
Yeah.
And then they'll add the feces in.
Shit in my mouth, bitch. The word I don't know.
Pastrami for me.
I can
Pastrami?
Pastrami.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can
So you
see.
can't fuck with like cats.
I can,
Deli?
No,
I can have
know.
pastrami. You can't fuck cats,
I could fuck cats, but I guarantee
you
there'll
can't
be
fuck with cats.
aftermath. Yeah.
dude. That's funny because like I can do pastrami, and like I know we've talked about there's stuff that I can't do that you like cucumber is like really bad for me. Carrots
Yeah.
are bad for
Cucumbers
me.
are fine with me.
Yeah, a lot of like vegetable, like really high fiber vegetables. Like,
Interesting.
yeah. I honestly don't really. It's kind of like I eat a lot of shit, dude. I gotta figure it out. Like I eat a lot of bullshit. Like I feel like I don't know, gluten. I'm just like I just do it all, but it's I don't know, man. It's a good question.
That's more celiac, right?
Yeah, but it's also not like it doesn't make me feel good, you know.
Yeah.
Definitely makes me feel bad,
But I mean, to go gluten free is a really intense switch.
which
'cause
I
it
wouldn't
cuts
do.
out a lot of
But I
stuff.
would
It
maybe
does. I have.
I'd maybe cut it out a little bit.
My girlfriend has a close friend of hers that she doesn't have celiac, but she just has like a gluten intolerance, like
Yeah.
not a full-on celiac.
Yeah.
And so she pretty much never eats gluten. One of the things I didn't know till recently, the bread over in Europe does not have gluten, but the bread over in America does.
Dude,
And so like she was overjoyed when she went over to England, like, you know, and had the bread over in like England,
it's so
Ireland, all
I
that.
wonder why that is.
Yeah, like so it's very bizarre. Well,
Their
I
bread
know
is
we
so
put
much
a lot
better
of
too.
additives in the food.
Yeah,
so I
their
guess
bread
that
is
helps.
much better too, dude. They say Italy has one of the highest concentrations of like GI problems, which you wouldn't expect.
Mamma mia! What
Yeah,
is
I
that
know.
about?
Mamma mia. Yeah. No, I don't know. It's just really, which you would, because like pizza, pasta, you know, you wouldn't expect that.
I think that's why Super Mario Brothers are plumbers.
Oh, that's funny.
That's the reaction I wanted. Not laugh, just it's fun.
No, because that is fun. Sorry, no. I was thinking,
On the day the Mario trailer came out.
Oh, did they have a trailer today?
Yeah, they put a trailer out for like the
Oh,
new animated
God,
movie. It
that's
actually
so
looks
funny.
fucking dope.
Oh, I gotta
I would
watch
love
that.
to
Yeah.
see that. Yeah.
That sounds fun.
No, not sorry. I didn't mean to say GI. I meant to say celiac stuff. Italy is one of the highest for. Did I say gluten intolerances? For gluten intolerance.
Oh,
That's interesting.
Yeah, which you wouldn't expect.
Is olive oil tied to it? Or?
I maybe. I don't know. Because olive oil is just the olive. I guess not.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing in it that would seem to be, but I also do know it can have like a decent high bit of fat content.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, like a lot of oily foods
Yeah, that's the
tend
thing.
to be a problem too.
That's
so
the
that
thing.
you know, olive oils would certainly assist with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're big with like pasta and that sort of stuff.
I just, to answer your question, I just don't eat very healthy, you know. So I think that if
Yeah.
I just ate a little healthier, that'd be better.
I got so disciplined with my diet
I need
between the colitis and the kidney disease.
It's just not worth it, dude. Like, it's just not worth it.
It just gets, yeah, I mean, that's the kind of conclusion I came down to. Because I used to be a full garbage person. I would eat all fast food, like I'm Taco Bell, all that shit, like every day of the week.
Were you still thin too, or you just have like crazy metabolism?
I was thin, but then I saw a picture of myself in like my 20s where like I had a gut like out to here.
Gotcha.
And I was like, so I was when I was like, oh, I think I'm okay. But then like I look at pictures of myself back then and I'm like, I could see I'm like puffed up and bigger.
Yeah, there's like a little bit of bloating and stuff.
Oh yeah. Because I didn't give a shit what I ate and I just felt like, oh, I could handle it. But in the prednisone too.
Yeah.
where we both are on prednisone. That will like really like accentuate.
Steroids.
Yeah, that and it's not the good steroids that like make you hit home runs. It's like the
No, these steroids make your penis much bigger.
yeah. They actually only one testicle they make bigger. That's
And it's not the good one.
not the good one.
Not the good one.
No, I mean I ate a lot of garbage. I actually have this like theory that this is just my personal theory that eating all that shitty fast food when I was younger might have caused some of these GI issues. I have no.
I mean, it's
all-
possible.
Everything is everything. Man.
Yeah, like I mean, I wouldn't. In terms of like health and how it's impacting people, I don't know that you could really discount any food choice that you make. I mean, they could all have an impact.
Also, food choice, environmental, the air we breathe, the stuff we drink, all that shit.
Well, and like as time goes on, like all the
vaccines.
All the shit that we've always been taught is bad for you in food. Yeah. They're just coming out with more information to back that up. Like we always knew sugar wasn't good for you, and then like in the last 10 years, they're like, no, sugar is actively killing really people. Bad. Like,
yeah, and it's right there.
Yeah,
and you can buy as much as you want. If you're
and this isn't an anti-sugar thing. It's Halloween. I'm gonna eat a fuck ton of candy. So,
dude, that's my favorite thing. That's like my main vice.
But it just is what it is.
So my favorite System of a Down song, "Sugar."
That is a great song. The pogo stick one is mine.
Oh, it's you never sugar. I'll play it for you after the show. We don't have the rights to it, so it's just going to be me saying sugar until people pause or turn off the podcast. But yeah.
Oh, no, you're thinking of Sugar by Maroon 5.
Oh, yeah. I didn't realize you were a mom in the body of a...
It's a great song. It's a great song.
I've heard plenty of stories from comics that are kind of like known, and I don't have any issue with this because I find a lot of offensive humor funny, but like comics that are known to be really offensive comics, where they'll say like certain jokes and then we'll just haunt them because even though they don't have any problem saying it on stage and they enjoy that, like they'll run into fans at like a restaurant. It's like, hey, remember that story you had about like fisting your mom? Or some crazy shit like that. It's like, I even had like a joke about that where I remember I had a joke very early on, and it was when I was still a terrible comic. Like it was first year in. And the punchline was like gargling period blood. It was just like, it was just a shock statement joke. And it was one of those jokes that you look back and it's like, there was no real structure there. Yeah. And so I don't like even bringing up the joke, but I'll still have, like in Charleston, every once in a while when I'm back in town, I'll run into people that'll go like, oh man, I love that period blood bit. And I'm like, it wasn't even a fucking bit. And I'm like,
period blood guy.
I'm like the dude who's like getting angry at them for liking the joke that I fucking wrote. Like,
yeah, that's the old me, man. You got to hear my new shit.
Yeah, and I wasn't embarrassed by talking about the content, but I just didn't really have a joke behind it. It was just a shocking statement.
Yeah.
And the stuff you think is going to hit never, it's never the same stuff.
Man, we totally got away from the shitting.
So after we had the epic 2.5-3 one, the most recent shitting experience I had was actually when COVID hit. I have asthma, and because I had a respiratory issue and there still wasn't a lot known about asthma, I was like, you know what? I think I probably should hang in Charleston for a little bit. In fact, my roommate's a nurse, and she's like, if you can get the fuck out of here, get the fuck out of here, because I don't know if you'd be at higher risk.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I stayed in Charleston from like March of 2020 to like August. I stayed for a couple of months there. And my girlfriend lives there right now. Like, and she's, got a place there. She's trying to sell that because she's wanting to move up here. But I decided to go for a run because I was just getting cabin fever. Like, I spent 2 weeks in quarantine just to be safe. And then after the 2 weeks, I got out. And so I'm running in her neighborhood. And I like run a certain distance and I'm having a little bit of an upset stomach. And I'm sure you guys can relate to this. Sometimes, like if you're going for like a walk or something, you'll realize there's a threshold where you'll walk too far where you're not in the vicinity of a bathroom and you could potentially be fucked, but you decide to risk it anyway.
Oh yeah, that's the ultimate gamble.
Yeah. And I did that, and my stomach immediately is like, you fucked up. So like I'm looking for like bushes, and I'm literally like in the trees, and there's like an elderly couple that walks by, and I'm literally trying to like angle so I can just like, I know my boxers are just fucked at this point. Like I'm like, they're gonna be disposed of, but like I can still salvage the pants. So like I'm trying to be as careful as possible, but also shit in the woods. But it was a nasty shit, so it just got everywhere. So then I had to like go home. My girlfriend's like, I go through like the back entrance and I immediately go to the bathroom, and like the way I ran to the bathroom, she's like, you didn't even say anything and I knew you shit your pants.
She's a keeper.
How did you know?
Yeah.
Dude, that's great.
That was the first time she was witness to that too, my current girlfriend. Like she had heard stories, both from me and friends that volunteered it every time they're around.
Yeah, usually the first date, I like to go over all my shitting stories. Just get it out of the way. Let's be upfront with each other. Let's come in 100.
Well, I'm fortunate that like the girl I'm dating now, like we were friends for like 2 years. Nice. So I never cleaned it up when she came to see me do comedy. So like all the embarrassing stories about me, she had like heard them and then some by the time we started dating. So that made it a lot easier.
That's amazing because I actually had that situation happen. I invited some girls to see me a few weeks ago,
Hell yeah.
and when I was writing the set, I was like, well, I can't do that bit. I can't do that bit. And I was like making a set that was like, could still get me laid after the show. I was like,
now
That can get you laid.
there was one funny moment with her where she came. You know, when you're dating somebody, I always think it's best to have them come sporadically to see you do comedy. Number one, if you're dating somebody, they hear you doing jokes all the fucking time.
oh yeah.
I never.
And so, like, my girlfriend, it's great because, like, I'd say probably about once every other month, she, like, I'd like to come see you. And that's, like, the exact amount that I want because I'm like, there'll be enough new jokes and stuff. But one time she came to see me, and I'm like, man, hope I have a great set. She's like, why? And I'm like, because if I have a bad set, you're not going to fuck me. Like, you're just not. And she's like, why? And I'm like, because there's just too much honesty in the room for sex to happen, like, after that. And she's like, that's not true. So I had never bombed in front of her at that point. I had always had a good set when she came. And that night, like, the stars aligned, and I fucking bombed really hard. And so we're sitting in the car, and she, like, sheepishly goes, like, it's just really quiet for a moment. She's like, we can still have sex if you want to. And I'm like, oh, don't fucking, like, see? I was right.
I think we're at the point where it's time for questions from the listeners. Colin, our producer, do you have any questions?
I do, and I think, Kiwi, you're going to love this submitter. Their name is Shithouse Poets 69. No joke.
That's so fucking stupid.
They specialize in porta potties, so their question actually is, tell us about a porta potty experience.
Is that the bio? Like wait, what is the name again?
Shithouse Poets 69.
They're a poet. You know, this is an artist.
Shithouse Poet 69. I specialize in porta potties. Okay.
I love our listeners. They're great. They're great people.
Wait, I'm sorry. Can you say the question again?
Tell us about a porta potty shitting experience that you've had.
Okay.
See, here's the problem with this question. I've definitely had some heinous experiences in a porta potty. The problem is, it's because it's a porta potty company. I think what they do is very important because people need to be able to shit.
Definitely.
But any stories I have about a porta potty aren't going to be a glowing review of porta potties because it's all. Let's be honest, porta potties are a hive of scum and villainy when you have to go in them. It's like you're glad they're there, but you're like, oh Jesus, what am I dropping in there? Like, I'm still not sure there weren't dead people in some of the porta potties I went into.
It's the fact that you have to look into this hole, and there's other people's shit in this hole, and it's like looking into the abyss. It's just. Oh no, it smells, and you see that toilet paper and the brown, and you're just like, oh, I'm just going to stack more shit on top of this, and it's not going to get any better. It's only getting worse from here.
Well, and so many people just have hang-ups about. I mean, I have been on dates to like concerts, like outdoor concerts where they had porta potties. And like the girl I was with at the time is like, I won't touch you with a 10-foot pole after you use the porta potty. And it's like, well, I had to shit. And she's like, yeah, you're going to have to like deep shower.
It's a luxury, dude. People have that. I've heard so many people say like, oh, I can't shit outside my house. It's like, dude, like we would all love to only shit in like nice toilets. But you think we want to shit in the shithole? It's a literal,
you have to
like,
improvise.
Yeah, you got to, it's here or outside or in your fucking face. I can't wait till I get home. You know?
My worst porta potty experience, Colin was actually not too far from me when this happened. It was Bonnaroo. We went to Bonnaroo years ago. Our friend's band, the RBC, was playing Bonnaroo. And man, day 2 was a real number 2. It was like shit. As you entered, there was shit. So like you knew what you were in for because there's like mud and shit as you're walking in. And I remember thinking, okay, I'm here all day. There's no pot, and I had this like colitis. I'm on prednisone. You're like, I'm trying to control it, but this is like, I know I'm gonna have to take a shit.
Of course.
I know I'm gonna have to take a shit, and it's just how much suck do I have to deal with? And it's like I take a quick shit, but that time that you're in there is like entering hell.
Oh, it's the worst porta potty experience I ever had was.
No, it is the portal.
I went to
Brown Inferno.
I went to a mac and cheese festival called Mac Off, which was already fucking great. And the people who ran the festival did not get that was inherently a funny name.
Yeah.
Which is great because everybody at the festival did. So they had like 22 different mac and cheese vendors.
Wow.
And I'm like, I love pasta. I fucking love mac and cheese. I'm trying all 22 samples. So like 4 samples in, I have one of the worst shits of my life.
Dude.
But also because I'm like a dude who's going to commit to the bit no matter what. It's like my stomach is not tolerating mac and cheese right now. I've got 17 more I have to get through. So I would literally go and get like 3 or 4, have to go back there, would literally have like the most like this burning hot shit after each of them. And it was like 4 of the most painful shits I've ever had. And I'm like, I'm going to get to the other side of this hell one way or another.
That's crazy.
And then I didn't eat mac and cheese for like 3 months afterwards.
Yeah, there's a mac and cheese spot in the East Village called Smack.
Yeah.
That place is
And
great.
that place rips my asshole.
I
apart.
had that play. Yeah.
Did you get the sampler?
I don't think I got the same. I think I got just like I think it was like a buffalo mac and cheese.
They're buffalo mac and cheese. That's the first one I had there. It's really good.
It tastes really good. It does not feel very good. It feels like I have to like stop doing any activity for the next
it's
few
awful.
hours.
Like I love hot wings. Hot wings are not great if your stomach's acting up.
Oh yeah, didn't you tell me you did the hot wing challenge?
Yeah, I did the hot wing challenge. Although surprisingly, of the 4 of us that did it, I think I was the only one that didn't have any kind of like bowel issues that night.
Oh, wow.
Like the rest of my friends, I mean, I had one friend, he literally said, I think I can only shit fire now.
He's like the bad guy in Super Mario. He's just shooting fire.
But I
But
also
out his
like,
butt.
His ass, yeah.
I also have hot sauce pretty regularly because like hot sauce doesn't really have any fat in it. So like one of the things I love for breakfast is I'll like if I'm trying to eat healthy, there's like some vegetarian sausage Morningstar Farms does. I'll cook some of that and just throw some like Valentina sauce on there.
Oh, nice.
So the stuff that's in hot sauce, capsaicin, I have that like almost on a weekly basis. So I have a decent tolerance for it for like the lower level heat stuff, and then when it gets really hot, I'm like suffering.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I like. We're very sensitive to it because of our J
Yeah.
pouches. I find that once I hit like habanero or hotter, it's too much for me.
Yeah.
I was on the ultimate frisbee team in college when I started off. Just speaking of everything, the porta potty stuff, and so I just because I got there and I was like, oh, I want to do something fun. It was like I was away from home and stuff. And I was like, I didn't like throwing the frisbee, but I loved catching it like a dog. So I was like, all right, now I want to catch these frisbees. So we had to go like to like college like an hour away, and then I basically that was when I got like diagnosed with colitis because the shitting blood for like 2 weeks and it just like wasn't stopping. And and then so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go out the first day. It's just like a tournament, like ultimate frisbee games every day. And so that I get the first game, it's like, oh, I get like a touchdown or whatever the equivalent is for frisbee. I get like a little thing and another thing. And I was just like, oh god. And I went to the porta potty. The next, I just started feeling so bad, and I brought my phone into the porta potty. I sat down in it, and I just start weeping, just tears of crying, like bridge over river, cry, just cry. And I called my mom, and she was like, hello, and I just go, I couldn't even say hi, mom. And she was just like, what's wrong? And I was like, I want to come home. And she was like, okay.
So you cried on the porta potty. What made you cry? Was it just having a shit in the porta potty?
It was just like I'm gonna have to take the semester off. Like this is like it was like a realization of like my life is like over. It's like I have a new life now.
Yeah, when it hits you that the colitis is really bad,
Yeah.
and you realize like, oh, I can't do like normal life functions.
Yeah.
That-
I realize now it's not a very funny story.
No,
The question was, what's your worst porta? That was definitely my worst porta potty experience. I've had some funny ones and wacky ones.
I mean, whatever you want to tell. It's like
One time I slipped on some toilet paper.
Oh, I mean, vulnerability is key. That's the whole point of this. There's someone else who probably had a similar experience, maybe not in a porta potty.
Well,
but-
like I know people people that have been diagnosed with like diabetes.
Yeah.
They have like an emotional reaction because they have to like really change their life after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I get that completely.
I've heard of a thing where like I don't know if you ever had this with the colitis, but people are diabetic where they'll go and like eat a bunch of donuts and eat the shit they can't
Yeah.
have just to like like
no,
fuck
I would do that, dude, when I first got diagnosed, because it's like by making yourself sick, you're the one controlling your sickness. You're saying like, I don't want to wake up tomorrow. If I eat healthy and be sick, then like I'm fucked and like I'm really bad. But if I make myself sick, then it's like I have some kind of agency over this,
Yeah, and I've definitely done that as well.
Yeah,
and
totally.
it's a lot like when I first got the illness, and then I think the only other time I can remember doing that was like when the pandemic hit, and I was like peak depression in the pandemic. But yeah, it's like I don't want to suffer, so you always think of that, and it's I guess like
make myself suffer.
Yeah, you're like, oh well, I'm in control. I'm making myself shit my pants. Like, But yeah, porta potties. Does this person, did they say what their job is with porta potties or?
It's the Porta Potty art collection on Instagram. So they have a whole bunch of like notes on the wall and just surprisingly not a
brown
lot.
Spots on the wall.
I'm looking for the ones that are just like disgusting, but mostly it's the art that people scribble on the wall.
That's nice.
The fart.
A lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, nice. I you know what? As a guy who has colitis, I appreciate people writing stuff on a bathroom wall because it gives me. It's like bringing a book in there.
Dude, I've read like novels worth of stuff on bathroom walls. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've learned languages just through sitting on the toilet.
I like the arguments that happen where people are writing back and forth, like
anal's back. No, it's not. Even stuff at Black Cat.
That's right. Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
Like. Fucking someone will write like a pro-Trump thing, someone will write like an anti-Trump thing. There'll be like just a political argument.
I can take shits all day and they just come back in.
Yeah.
The political ones always crack me up because it'll be like somebody, they'll go like, Trump sucks, but then it'll have like crossed out of like Trump rules, and I'm like, I have political opinions, but who's so passionate about their politics that they're taking a shit and goes like, this will not stand. Like.
I would love to see a shit poetry night. Like, not a slam poetry night, but it's a shit.
So funny. Am diarrhea.
Shit my pants.
Okay. All right.
Brown is the color of my shit.
I fell in love in the porta potty line in the parking lot of some show. She was dancing round, clutching herself. She was waiting for her turn to go.